Boingy, boingy, boingy. Hey, welcome back to Stickboy's lab. We're still working on this Toyota Hilux, probably will be for quite a while. Today we're going to make some custom shocks. I picked up some springs at the local hardware store, which are nice and squishy and fairly small diameter, and should look fairly decent if I machine up some shock bodies for them. So we're going to turn some shock bodies today out of a chunk of 1/4-inch aluminum rod. We are going to use 1/8-inch brazing rod for the shock shaft, and we're going to use some small brass tubing for the lower eye. So that's the plan. So here I have some 1/4-inch aluminum stock chucked up in the lathe. I'm using my collet chuck because it works so nice for this kind of stuff. And we'll start turning. So I have our shock body clamped in the vise here, and I'm just going to start filing. I have this line here so I know about where to stop. It shouldn't take too long to get a flat spot here, and then we'll flip it over and do on the other side. I'm leaving a little space for the line because we'll come in with a round file and put a little radius on there. We'll stop right there, and let me grab a round file. Thought I had one here. And we're going to work this edge here just a little bit. Put a little radius on there. We'll try that out. Now we'll loosen this up, flip it over, and go back at it from this side. That's looking pretty decent. I'm going to come back with the file and radius these top corners just a little bit. I think we'll call that good. I need to drill a hole in there. So here are the pieces for my shock shaft. I have a piece of 1/8-inch brazing rod for the shaft itself. I have a small brass washer for the spring seat, and I have a small piece of brass tube for the lower shock mount. And that'll sit like that, and this will come in here like this. I have a small jig that I made up to solder that all together. So here you can see the jig that I made up. I have shock shaft jigged in place. You can see the washer sitting in that groove. I have another groove that the shaft is in, and then I have the vice grip just sort of locating the lower shock mount. So we're going to come in here, and I should have tinned this first, but I didn't. So we're just going to come in here with the soldering iron, heat things up a little bit, and see if we can get it to stick. We'll try that out. I think that might work. It's a slight bit crooked, but I'm not going to tell you that, and you're not going to tell anybody else that, and nobody will ever know. So once again today, we're going to be using the WPL-inator. We're going to be using this to replicate the shock that we built, and it's going to save us a little bit of time. We'll put the original down in the bottom drawer, down where it says originals, and we'll set our control. We'll turn our knob up here to duplicate because we're duplicating today. The other thing that we have to do is we have to fill up the Matter Baby hopper. Now you may ask, what's a Matter Baby hopper? Well, the obvious answer is it's a hopper for Matter Babies. The next question is going to be, well, what's a Matter Baby? Well, thanks for asking. Nothing, I'm doing fine. So we've set the control to duplicate. So we're duplicating parts today. We'll open this up. We will put the original. Here's the shock that we made. We'll put the original in here. We're not including the springs because I already have springs like I want, and sometimes springs get kind of wonky when you try to make them in here. So that's what we'll do. So we talked about the Matter Baby hopper already. As you can see, I've got some chunks of brass and aluminum in there, which is matter, right? We learned this back in elementary school, that everything's made out of matter. And so to duplicate parts, you have to have something to make those parts out of. And we know everything's made out of matter. And so there you have matter in your Matter Baby hopper. Okay, so we'll come back down here. We were making 3 of them again, so we'll hit 3. And I think it's about this long. I think that's about our setting. We'll hit start. And you can see the flashy lights, so it lets you know you're working. Pretty magical. So we'll let that do its thing, and we'll come back when it's done. So why Matter Baby? Why not just Matter Hopper? Well, rumor has it that there was a young British intern working on this project. I think his name was Austin or something. And one of the financial backers came through there one day, saw him working on this hopper. And they said, well, what's the hopper for? And he said, well, matter, baby. And he winked kind of weird. Well, it looks like our time is up. As you can see, there's a lot less matter in the hopper than when we started. So let's come down here, open our tray, see what we've got. Oh, look at that. There we go. We've got 3 of them there. And we've got our original here. All ready to go. Wonderful machine. So here's a shock assembled with the spring on it. Boingy, boingy, boingy. I will have to make some limiter straps for these because they will come apart like so. And that wouldn't be good at all. Hey, thanks for watching today as we built these custom shocks for the WPL C-24. Check back in soon for our next episode when we'll be doing custom shock mounts, a custom electronics tray for the front, and various other apparatus required to get these shocks installed. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. And as always, play nice.